Welcome to JCTV. This is Dave B, your news reporter for this evening. Here are the latest news. A hole appeared in the Eastgate Road yesterday. The police are looking into it. And another news item. The police are looking for a man with one eye named Jacob. And the police are anxious to find out the name of his other eye. They're also looking for a man with a deaf aid. And the public are asking, why don't they use glasses? Here apparently is a news flash. What's this about? Apparently a building in West Street has been severely damaged. Our roving reporter is currently on the scene. So, over to Sarah.
Here I am at the home of Mr. Ishmael. There seems to have been a riot or something here today. I'm stood outside the house and I can see that part of the roof has collapsed. And Mr. Ishmael is outside complaining bitterly about the damage. Here he is now. Mr. Ishmael, can you tell us what has happened?
Well, yeah, there's a great big hole in my roof. There's a bunch of vandals just tore apart my roof. It's going to cost a fortune to fix. And I bet the insurance company won't even cover it. I'm waiting for one of the assessors now.
Can you tell me what led to this terrible act of vandalism?
Well, I invited this guy Jesus round for a quick chat, just me and him. And then loads of people started turning up. He was talking about God and stuff, so these hundreds of people turned up in my house, and it's not a very big house, so it was a bit crammed and people were sticking their heads in through the window. But then all of a sudden the roof started caving in.
So what happened next?
Well, these 4 blokes up there made this big hole to lower their friend who was on a bed down into the middle of the house. And then he was lying on the floor with all the bits of roof around him. Everybody was really shocked. I was shocked. All the people, random people that were in my house were shocked. But Jesus didn't seem that shocked. He just said that all the bad things that he'd ever done were forgiven. But then the priests started getting angry about that.
Then what?
Well, then Jesus said, "Get up." And he did. He got up and started dancing out of the room.
Thank you, Mr. Ishmael. Now I've also found a bystander who witnessed what happened outside the house. Hello, Mrs. Marta.
Hello.
Now, what did you see?
Well, I was stood there at the house, and I wanted to see Jesus. I went there because I'd heard that Jesus was there, and I wanted to see Jesus. And I was sort of stood there, and there were these 4 men that came along. But you see, the house was just so full, we couldn't get in to see Jesus. There were people right outside the door, all around the windows and everything. Well, then these four men that came along, they were obviously looking around and wanted to see Jesus. But then they looked at the steps outside the house. The steps that go up to the roof, where Mr. Ishmael dries his corn and what have you. Then they sort of had a discussion, and then they went down the road to old Moses' house. Now, he's the cripple, Well, he hasn't walked for must be about 10 years now he hasn't walked for. He used to beg if somebody got him out of the house. All right, he could beg for some money. But anyway, they went into the house and they came out carrying him on his bed. Well, they came back to the house. They took him up the stairs outside the house onto the roof, and then they started taking off out the roof and making a hole in it. Well, then they started lowering the bed down. Well, I couldn't see anything after that. But anyway, then there was all this shouting coming on from the house. And I couldn't believe my eyes. Moses actually came out of the house, walked out there. Well, he didn't walk, he ran, he was dancing. He had his bed tucked under his arm. And his friends, they were laughing. They were just so pleased. They were just so excited to think that Moses was walking again. Well, it was a miracle. Plain and simple, it was a miracle.
Well, what a story. Thank you. Now back to the studio.
Well, what a story. I understand that the insurance have actually been to the house, and they have agreed that this was not vandalism, but an act of God. So a happy ending for 2 people. Do you know, thinking about that story, it's really great to have friends, isn't it? Friends who are particularly willing to help you. If it hadn't been for friends in this story, then this poor man would have been a cripple for the rest of his life. So you need to look after your friends, especially after this time when we've been locked up in our homes, we haven't been able to go to school, we haven't been able to meet our friends. And it's good to make sure that we look after other friends. Make sure that nobody gets left on their own in the playground. Friends didn't care very much about the damage they did to the house. They were thinking it was so important to get this person to Jesus because they knew and they believed in Jesus that he could actually heal the man. They trusted in Jesus, and so do we need to really trust that he is the Son of God, because only if he was the Son of God could he have done all these special miracles. Just be quiet for a moment and think about people in your class. Maybe there's somebody who's a bit lonely, somebody who needs to be a friend, somebody who needs to have some time with somebody else. So, thank you for listening, and we will hopefully see you at some point in the future. Bye-bye for now.